Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started in MyOpenMath, go through the orientation, and go through a little bit of Module 1, explain the homework and the quizzes. Okay, so I'm at MyOpenMath.com. You can go there directly, or you can use any of the MyOpenMath links inside our D2L class. So the link in the nav bar takes you there, or any of the links in our course. There's a link in every module to MyOpenMath. Okay, so once you're at myopenmath.com, if you're going here for the very first time, you're going to click on Register as a new student. Okay, put in a username and a password, and first name, last name. Please use the same last name as in D2L or the official course roster. That just helps me when I'm transferring grades, if they're in the same order alphabetically. That really helps me. And I suggest using your PCC email so you have everything being emailed to the same place. And then at the bottom here is the course ID and enrollment key. So this you'll get off the syllabus, okay? And then click sign up right underneath that. Okay, then once you do that, you probably have to go to this login page and go ahead and log in. And if you've been here before, then you already have an account. So go ahead and log in. If you need to remember your password or username, go ahead and do that, and then log in. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then you'll see any old courses you've taken here, or the current class if you just registered. If you have old classes, then what you want to do is go all the way down to the bottom. You can see I've used this a lot. I need to move my recording window down just a little bit. And you would want to click on Enroll in a New Class. And then my teacher gave me a course ID. Get this information from the syllabus, the course ID and enrollment key, and click on Sign Up. Okay, then I'm going to go back to Home, which shows you all the classes you're taking. So I'm going to put my window back up here. Okay, so click on, I'm going from the template, but ours will be specific to the actual term once I get this ready for you. Okay, so then in Module 0, so you see each module corresponding to our class, Module 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with Module 0. So this is our welcome and orientation. So here's just welcome and description, the course content and outcome guide, and then a link to tutoring, which is always helpful to have, and then a link to our free online textbook if you want to reference that. The first thing you want to do after doing any of that is the orientation. So I'm gonna start over. Okay, so you'll see the orientation are just kind of some silly questions to get you used to the system. So true-false questions is one kind of question you might have. I've created an account and I'm logged into MyOpenMath. Well, that has to be true in order to be seeing this question. So I'm going to hit true. I hit submit and I get green feedback. Okay, and I get a green check mark here. Then you can either use the right arrow to go to the next one, or you can use the drop-down menu, whichever you prefer. And then another type of question is multiple choice questions. When there's a circle, then only one answer is correct. Okay, so select the right answer, wrong, wrong, right, wrong. So let me just show you what happens if you get it wrong. I hit submit question and now I see red. Okay, now you have unlimited tries in this class, so then you would try it again. So you would try, okay, right, and then submit question is at the bottom. Now I can see it's green. Okay, you can skip around. Let's say you were stuck on that one. You could still go to the next question. You don't have to do them in order. And let's say I get one partially right and partially wrong. So the squares have multiple answers. So sometimes there's more than one right answer, right? Select all that apply or select all the right answers. So I'm going to pick one right and one wrong to show you what happens. It's yellow. So it's like a green, yellow, red traffic light system. You know, green is good, red is wrong, and yellow is part way. Okay, and you can see it shows you that in the list here as well. And you also get partial credit. So you get credit for everything you do right. But keep going until you get 100%. So That one was wrong, so I'm going to select the right, and submit is a little bit below my window here. And now I've got it right. Okay, so there's a matching. I'll let you do that one. There's a word answer. So sometimes you might need to type in a word like, say, units of feet or inches. This one asks you to go to the textbook and find a particular word. Okay, then sometimes there are also multi-part questions. So here there's like a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. So sometimes there's often there's multiple parts to a question. Now this question actually is to demonstrate how to use the forums, okay? So you do not have the answer to this question. So what I want you to do is look in the forums, and I will post the answer as soon as somebody asks the question, okay? So let me show you more about the forums. I'm going to scoot my window down a little bit here. At the bottom of each question, right above the submit button, is post to forum. So the forums are really great for helping each other in our class, and of course I check those every day to help students as well. But if it's something where you're working on at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I might have logged off, but it's due by the end of the night, you can help each other when I may not be online or more on the weekends. So helping each other, teaching someone is how you learn, is a good way to learn. So I do recommend helping other students if you're able to. So when I click post to forum, the beauty about this is it puts the question into a message for me. Now, this is a pretty wordy question, but when we get to the numerical questions, everyone will have different numbers. They're randomized. And that's to let us help each other, but then each student still does their own question. So that's the beauty of this system, because we need to see your numbers to see you can type your steps right here. Say, I tried this, or I got stuck here. I'm not sure what to do next. I got this far, but now I'm stuck. Please do type something above here so we know what your question is. If it's just blank, we don't really know how to help you. So write a question in here. And then this helps because in those randomized questions, we can actually see your numbers, okay? So then you've got some different options, and you would post the thread, okay? So I'm not going to post it right now, but you would post this and say something like, can you tell me the answer to, and it also, the other great thing is it puts the actual question number in the subject, okay? So leave that subject in there because that helps us know. Let's say someone has a question about number 6, or later on it's a different, number 3. They can look in the forums to see if someone has already asked that question. Okay, so someone's going to ask, what's the answer to number 6, the part 1 right here, and I will reply with that. Then you're going to go to the forums. You're going to click here, or let me go back to the home page. Home takes you, I do that all the time. Home takes you outside to all the classes, but you probably more often want to go to course. Let me move this back up. Course takes you to our course homepage, okay? So you can get to forums either right here on the left or up at the top. It's forums, not roster. So when you click on forums, you'll be able to see if there are any messages here. There's no topics yet, but I'll be looking on the lookout for that first topic, and then you can go there, see if someone has posted it, and get the answer. And if no one has posted it, then you can post it for the first time. Okay, so forums is a really, really good tool. And also, if I have more than one section in a term, I'll often put them in the same shell so that everyone can answer everyone can answer questions. So instead of 25 people, there's 50 people that can answer questions. If you have a concern about that for privacy, please let me know about that, okay? Okay, so that's the forum. That's a really nice feature of this. I'm going to go back to course, not home. And you can see I went out of the orientation. I can go back and it remembers, resume It remembers what I've done, okay? So you can leave, you can come back. It remembers each question separately. If there's not a submit at the end, like I know some systems you have to submit at the end. This is just by question. Okay, so I can pick up where I left off. Oops, I was going to let you do 4, 5. That was 6. 7, just a little practice, just entering fractions and then reducing fractions. 8 is decimals, entering decimals and then rounding. I have a whole video on rounding, so if you need more help with that, I've got that there for you. Number 9 talks about late passes. So you do have 5 late passes in the class. That allows you to do your own extension, which is great in MyOpenMath here. It extends the due date by 1 week, okay? You can use it on the homework. You can also use it on a quiz. I don't recommend waiting a full week for the quiz, but if you need it, for a day or two, try not to get too far behind because it can snowball on you. But I will help you out if you need some flexibility. Number 10 is about review mode. So review mode is great because after the due date, then you can use the problems again. You can do them again for practice, essentially. And it won't affect your grade. So let's say you've already gone through the whole section, you've got 100%. And the test is coming up. You can go ahead and practice these again and it won't change your grade, okay? So read through that one and then there's a question to answer there. Okay, so that's the whole orientation. Like I said, you can skip around if you get stuck. If you get stuck, post to forum and then keep going and then come back later and check if someone has answered your question. You'll also see when you get into the course right here, forums, you'll see a red number if there's new messages. So you see like red parentheses 1 means there's 1 new post that you haven't read yet. So that's a little key there. You can also send me a message through here. It might, I check this pretty regularly for forums, so I will get a message here too. But you can also email me as well. Okay, so that's Module 0. Now let's do an overview of Module 1. So Module 1, most modules have 2 homework sections and then 1 quiz, okay? So the first thing is the forum. So if you're stuck on something, go check the forum and see if it's already been posted about. And now these will have real questions, not fake questions like the orientation. There's a lot of vocabulary ones in the first section. I'm still getting this ready for you. Just want to get to one. There's a lot of wording ones in the first one, but you can see just different types, things about data, different definitions, and different data sets. There might not be a numerical one in this. Yeah, it's a lot of vocabulary. Here's a word answer. Here's just more looking at data. Okay, so you would just go through all of those. I'm going to go back to the course. And then data collection. So there's another set. So it's roughly the first half and then roughly the second half. So if you chose to, you could watch like the first half of the videos, go to MyOpenMath. You could break it up if you want. And the second half of the videos. So that's up to you, how you, or if you want to do the whole module notes and then all of this. The lab has them together. So the lab has both sections together in one, but roughly in the same order. I try to keep it roughly in the same order. And then this. Okay. Then once you've done all the work for the week and you've studied, you've gotten help, you've gotten any questions answered, then you'll be ready to do your quiz. So this is a quiz where you can choose the time and you have an hour to do it, okay? So in class, it would be like a half hour, 20 minutes, a half hour class, but I'm giving you an hour. It is open note, open material, okay? So you can use your notes. but it's not any open person. So you're the only person who can work on it. It's no tutors, no other people helping you. Okay, so you want to make sure you get all your notes organized. Have your lab. You can have your labs open. You got your MyOpenMath. Have all your notes and materials organized and ready. And get that all set up. Then whenever you start it, you have an hour to do the quiz. Okay, so it's a little extra, just time to look things up and so forth, because it's a progression where you can use your notes on the quiz, but then not on the midterm and final. Okay. The thing that's different between the quiz and the assignments is for these, I need to see your work, okay? Because I'm going to give you partial credit for anything you do right. It's not unlimited tries like the assignment, okay? So this is one try. You won't be able to change your answer, but if you realize you made a mistake or change your mind, you can put that in your work, okay? So I can't show you this quiz, but I'm going to show you an example in the midterm review. So I just want to show you, this content won't be familiar to you yet, but I want to show you how you'll be able to put your work in here. So if I go down far enough to where, if I go down to where there's some work required, there's this add work box. So in the quiz, there'll be one or more of these questions, and you can type your steps in right here. Or you can write them on paper. Either way is fine with me. So if you type it in, then you would submit all the questions. If there's one or more, just submit each question, and then you're done with the quiz. It might also ask you to insert a picture, like if we're doing a lot of simulations, you might take a screenshot and put that in there to show your work. So if you've put all your work in here and submitted all your questions, then you're done with that. If you have written anything on paper, then you're going to scan that and put it in D2L. So I'll show you where you would go for D2L. Anything you're going to upload, you can go to the Assignments tab. This is kind of a shortcut. So I think I'll actually put quizzes above labs, because labs, we have the grade. I'll be putting the grade in here, but you don't need to upload anything because it's all in Desmos. Quizzes you'll actually be uploading. So here I would go to this folder, and then, I'm in instructor mode, so let me change myself to student mode. Let me go back to assignments, and when you do the upload, you would see add a file right here. So here you would scan, and I'll put in another video for how to scan. If you have multiple pages, which you probably wouldn't for a quiz, but for the test, you might have multiple pages, and then you would put them all into one PDF and then send it to your computer, and so you can upload it here. Okay, now the great thing about this putting your work in D2L is I can write feedback right on it. Okay, so I can give feedback to you there. I can also type feedback in MyOpenMath, so I'll be doing that as well, probably a combination. Okay, so that gives you a good overview of MyOpenMath. I think it's best to just get your account going, get started, and then reach out if you have any questions, okay? So do your Module 0, and then when you get to Module 1, you can work on Module 1. We will do our midterm and final in here as well, so that'll be similar to the quiz. Just a little different because that's proctored. So you can choose when you want to take your quiz before the due date. And one thing to know about the due date is you want to start that 1 hour, at least 1 hour before the due date. Because once you've started, that doesn't mean you still have an hour, right? If you hit the due date, it's going to close. So if you started a half hour before the due date, you'd only have a half hour, okay? Or if you have a late pass, use your late pass first. So you've extended the deadline, then take your full hour, okay? So some students have thought that just because they started it, they would still get the hour, but you have to finish before the due date, okay? Okay, great. Well, I look forward to working with you on this, and I'll see you in the next video.